Now, Congress veteran A.K. Antony's son, Anil K. Antony, has resigned from all of his posts within the Congress party, sending ripples within the organization. The resignation comes after Mr. Antony caused a furor by expressing a conflicting opinion over the BBC documentary on Prime Minister Narendra Modi. In a tweet, he had said that, and I quote, "Those in India placing views of the BBC over Indian institutions are setting a dangerous precedent and will undermine our sovereignty." That's his quote. Now, this tweet of Mr. Anil Antony went against the party's stand on the documentary, which has left absolutely no stone unturned to criticize and question the centre. However, the standoff has now resulted in Mr. Anil Antony quitting all of his party positions, alleging that he was forced to retract the tweet that he put out and then apologize. However, he remained completely defiant and in his resignation letter hit out at the party leadership, saying some are only keen to work with a bunch of sycophants and what he describes as chamchas. We're being now joined by Mr. Anil Antony, the son of Mr. A.K. Antony, who's been a former Chief Minister of Kerala and also the former Defence Minister. Thank you, Mr. Anil Antony, for speaking to Times Now. Could you elaborate on what you had actually tweeted about intolerance within the Congress party, a reason for your resignation?
See, whatever I have written is self-explanatory. In the morning, I have resigned from the digital roles I have in the Kerala Pradesh Congress Committee as well as in the AICC, because at this moment I believe that it is very untenable for me to do the work that I am doing because of a lot of reasons, especially catalyzed by whatever happened in the last 24 hours. Yesterday morning I had made one tweet. That tweet is a very innocuous, simple thing. There are only 3 lines in it. A lot of people have already seen it, but things are very simple, where I say very clearly that BJP is a party I have a lot of strong differences with. At the same time, when it comes to certain things, especially things that pertain to this country's core national interest, including sovereignty, I do think that politics shouldn't go above it, because it is playing with fire, which actually has a lot of long-term ramifications. And then I also had a little bit of caution regarding this particular documentary, because the people behind it, including Mr. Jack Straw, is somebody who is the mastermind behind the Iraq war, and you all know how it turned out, and with millions of people who were dead, and end of the day, that is also not something which I agree with in any manner. So end of the day, this was just a innocuous tweet where I was just telling, and when I made that particular tweet, I had said nothing which was against what the Congress party had stood for, nothing which is against the Congress values, nothing against the Congress policies. The only thing which I actually said is that, let's say, which I personally believe is something which 99% of this country will actually agree with, and that is our partisan politics shouldn't come above national interest, and then we shouldn't let foreign institutions actually compromise the sanctity of our internal institutions. And I believe that 99% of this country will actually agree on that, and this is all I did. But somehow something I said raffled a lot of people. Suddenly, like, I had a lot of people who within the organization who behave in a manner as if I had done some grave mortal sin, and then like I have a lot of people who are telling me to withdraw my statement, give a counter statement or delete it, and I didn't, because end of the day I personally think that whatever I did, it is based on the best of my understandings, the best of my convictions, and the best of my conscience, and I did not. But then what happened in the last 15 to 18 hours, I would say, is something which is very sad, it is very shameful, and it is very hurtful, where in the last 15 to 18 hours, like, end of the day, the whole country, the people in my state, everybody are very, because I am not going to delete a single of those Facebook messages, I am not going to delete a single of those Facebook posts, I am not going to delete a single of those hateful Twitter messages. Every person is actually free to go there and check about it, where finally, like, it is hundreds of hateful messages, threats, abuses, just because of a statement which I personally believe 99% of this country will actually agree with, and that is, end of the day, partisan politics shouldn't come above national interest. And this is the only thing I said, and it ruffled a lot of people, and suddenly, because of some reasons, you have this hateful abuse against me, and I felt it to be very hurtful. And then I think that end of the day, in a very, I don't think this is the kind of place I want to work in. This is just a disruptive, destructive environment where I don't think I fit in there. So I thought about it for a while and I did whatever my conscience told me to do.
So you spoke of a destructive environment. You also spoke about intolerance. You said you don't want to be a part of a party of sycophants and chamchas. Those were your exact words. So let's get into some of the specifics, Mr. Anil Antony. Who specifically asked you to withdraw that tweet that you'd put out?
I will not be giving any names at this moment because at this moment I believe that whatever conversations I had with anybody, like I do think that they expect certain degree of privacy and trust, and I don't think they are even the origin of wherever it came from, so I'm not going to go into that matter. Maybe at another day, or most likely it won't, because I would like to let bygones be bygones. But there are things that happened, and end of the day, like I said earlier, you can go to my Facebook wall, you can go to some of my Facebook posts, and there are so many of these hateful abuses, and I know it comes from certain corners of the party. I know exactly who they are, and by now I also know that they also know that I know, and end of the day, this is what it is.
But Mr. Antony, that's been one of the reasons as to why you actually quit the party. So it's a fairly drastic decision that you've taken. After all, your father is a Congress party veteran as well. So was it therefore one person or a group of people or leaders from within the Kerala state unit who prompted this resignation? Did they ask you to pull down your tweet, or were it people from Delhi? Give us some specific information as to who exactly was asking you to pull down what you'd put out.
No. It is people, like end of the day, like whatever I said in that particular tweet and my resignation letter is self-explanatory, and I wouldn't want to go beyond that. I don't want to blame people at this moment. But like the overall context and the circumstances are self-explanatory.
So therefore, in the tweet that you've actually put out where you announce your resignation, you've put out a statement, you've affixed the statement to the tweet that you've published. What is the specific coterie, Mr. Antony, that you're referring to? You're referring to sycophants, people you describe as chamchas. Who are these chamchas?
I don't want to discuss about that. End of the day, like again, this is something which people who are reading it will understand exactly what I am saying. Those who need to know exactly what they have to know, and it is addressed to them.
So, Mr. Antony, just to follow up, and we have to be persistent on this particular issue. You say that your conscience is clear. It's a result of that clear conscience that you've announced your resignation from all party positions in the Congress. So, therefore, why not name the people who've hounded you and compelled you to resign?
See, like I said, like end of the day, like I have a certain kind of personality. Like I don't want to tarnish public reputation, nor do I want to have personal attacks against people, because that is not my style of working, functioning or living. End of the day, like I do think that whatever conversation I had with people, it is with them also expecting certain degree of trust, and I would like to maintain that, and that is how I would like to keep it. But if things change, definitely I will let you know, but at this moment that is not what it is.
Okay, because the outcome of all of this, Mr. Anil Antony, is the fact that you've now been described in some sections as a BJP stooge. How would you respond to these kind of accusations being hurled against you?
End of the day, a lot of people, you go to my Facebook walls, there are a lot of these abuses, hurts, a lot of these allegations which are all completely false and baseless. End of the day, like the whatever started itself was a tweet yesterday. The first sentence itself is something which is crystal clear, where I say very clearly that I have a lot of political differences with the BJP. I'm not part of the BJP in any manner, and it is a party whose a lot of things I disagree with a lot. But whatever I said yesterday is something which I think it is not just BJP or Congress, but it is something which every political party, every person in this country, 99% of the population in this country will agree, and that is, end of the day, partisan politics shouldn't come along above national interest, and that is something which I strongly believe in, and I will still stick to that.
Now, following your tweet, Mr. Anil Antony, the Congress party has completely snubbed you. And when we specifically asked them for a response on what you actually said about the BBC documentary, they retorted by saying, "Who's Anil Antony?" How would you respond to that kind of a reaction coming from the Congress?
No, end of the day, like, why should I even respond? End of the day, like, this is not meant for her. Like, end of the day, like, I don't, if that is what she feels, that is what she feels.
So when one actually goes through your resignation letter, you've said that you've resigned from party positions. So have you just resigned from party positions, or have you also resigned from the primary membership of the Indian National Congress?
See, end of the day, like I said, like I have a good professional career and I would like to work on that, and I think that is what I would like to concentrate on at this moment, and politics is not something which I am interested in at this moment of time.
So while you have a professional career, will you still be part of the Congress?
See, I was, and I hope that I will be always a part of the Congress party.
So, Mr. Anil Antony, after you put out that tweet, have any senior leaders tried to reach out to you?
I haven't had the time after that, and then it has been a very busy day. Like maybe by the end of my phones are not even with me, so maybe by the end of this day I'll speak to whoever wants to speak to. But at this moment I haven't spoken to anybody.
Of course, your father is a stalwart of the Congress party. He, of course, was former defence minister, also former chief minister of Kerala, the youngest chief minister in the Indian Union at that point in time. Does he endorse your views?
I haven't. Like end of the day, he is right now in a village in Kerala attending a personal family function, and I haven't been able to speak to him at all. But whatever I am doing is based on my understanding, my like it is based on my thought process, and it is based on my conscience, and I am and my convictions, and I am fairly sure that that is one thing. Whether he agrees with the decision or not, the decision-making process, I believe he will agree with.
Well, there's been some speculation, Mr. Antony, and this is my final question, that, perhaps this is an outreach to the Bharatiya Janata Party. Have the BJP leaders actually reached out to you after you put out that tweet?
I haven't spoken to anybody. No, I haven't spoken to any BJP leader also.
Right. Thank you very much, Mr. Anil Antony, joining us. A very significant decision that he's taken, resigning from all party positions for what he claims is an outcome of intolerance within the Congress party against a dissenting view. We have to slip into a short break. We'll come back with a lot more on the other side. Don't go anywhere.